Welcome everybody to the podcast. Today I'm here with Cadet Major Kody Brumley.
Hi, how you doing?
Fantastic. Okay. Oh,
Good to
you're
hear.
talking to them. That's right. Talking to our family out here. Okay. So, um, Cadet Major Kody, would you care to introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm Cadet Major Kody Brumley. I'm the Cadet Commander of the 2024 Mississippi Wing Encampment.
Dude, Cadet Commander, Cadet, oh my gosh, my mouth is not working. So, Cadet Commander is like it's the big kahuna of like encampment. That's like that's who everybody's looking at.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely.
I remember last year, our cadet commander was Noah H. Gill, because I remember how they used to say it like every day, you know.
Oh, yes, yes.
Noah H. Gill. But
Yeah.
it was my first year in encampment and I was new to cap and everything, but it was such a the commander plays as such like a key figure to like all the basics because you pretty much inspire them so much throughout encampment. I remember I was like, dude, how do I get to where he's getting? Because like he was so professional, he was cool, you could talk to him, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, I want to be like this guy. And so like having that position, like, yeah, man, like, good luck. No
Yeah,
pressure,
it's
no
not
pressure.
easy. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work to get here. But
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most rewarding positions you'll ever have. That's for sure.
So explain your role as the cadet commander and tell us like why you chose it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of my primary role is to lead and manage the cadet program during encampment. So, obviously, you have different things behind the scenes with senior members and even with cadets. But for the most part, my primary role is to lead and manage the cadet program of the encampment, the entire cadet side of it. It kind of involves the planning and overseeing of all training activities, from drill to even the scheduling of the meals to do we have aircraft to fly in, and do we have locations and barracks to stay in. But it's one of those cool things that I get to be on the cadet side and kind of on the team member side, because I'm a liaison almost. I'm coordinating with the senior staff but also coordinating with cadet staff, so I'm kind of in that middle ground.
Okay. So would you take a suggestion? So you said that you were kind of in charge of planning the meals, right? So
Yes.
if we put a little extra funding in for next year, do you think it might be possible that we could fit a little extra breakfast in there? Just like a second breakfast for those extra hungry cadets. Cough, cough, me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually upping how much food we're giving cadets this year. So we're
Oh,
making sure that everyone is getting plenty of food. So last year, everyone got their required amount of food that they needed to get through the day. But this year, we're making sure that everybody has enough calories and has enough nutrients for sure.
so
So we've
that's
already upped our funding this year, and if we up our funding next year, we're going to be in an even better spot.
okay. Wow. So that's what the cadet commander works on. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was
Yes.
like senior member stuff. So you guys have like a ton of
No, no.
responsibility.
Yes. So we have a lot of responsibility, but we don't necessarily do every job. So
Okay.
we can delegate tasks to our support staff or to our line staff, but we are ultimately responsible for what happens. So they do the task, and they might be responsible for getting it done, but then I'm responsible for what that result is, and whether or not the team members will take it.
Okay.
So I'm there, and I didn't necessarily work on the budget directly, but I am responsible for the budget.
Okay.
So when that budget is made up by support staff, they bring it up to me, and then I propose it to the senior members, and they say yes or no, and we go from there.
Wow. So how long did you guys work like before encampment to make sure encampment happened? What was the, you know,
So encampment planning, it might be a little wild to some people, but encampment planning for this year started the day after graduation last year.
are you kidding me?
So I am not. It starts the day after. It
That's
absolutely does. So, and that goes
so
for just about any encampment across the nation.
so
It
you're
starts
telling
the
me like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, but you're telling me the day after commandment encampment, they're just like, all right, yo, Major Cody, can you come up here? Hey, you wanna be commander for next year? Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's start planning. That's what happened.
well, they don't integrate the cadet staff that early. They usually bring them in about November or so.
Oh, okay.
They run the applications around October, November timeframe, and they have their executive staff selected by the end of December to early January, somewhere in there. But the senior members absolutely start the day after graduation, and it's wild how much has to go into it, and that's why we have to start so early.
Well, I mean, hand clap to the senior members, and man, they're doing a killer job.
Absolutely.
So again, this is a really personal question, especially,
Okay.
but what advice would you give to cadets aspiring to be the next cadet commander or cadet commander in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. Are you saying cadet commander of encampment or cadet
Yeah,
commander of
cadet
any
commander of
activity or
encampment.
squadron? Okay, of encampment. Ooh, that one's a tough one because there's only one per state typically a year. So
Competition,
there's
man.
not a lot of opportunities, but there is a lot of competition there for sure. But I would probably have to say kind of my advice for cadets that are aspiring to be a cadet commander, which is a totally understandable goal, and I applaud you for going after it. It's a hard job, but my advice would be to really focus on your leadership skills and a sense of responsibility for sure. Um,
Yeah.
take every opportunity that is given to you, or could potentially be open to you. Make sure you are always active and proactive at finding those opportunities because they might not always pop up in your face. So you might have to go out and find them. But that is probably something I really have to tell you to do is look for your leadership, look for strong leadership skills, and build them. It takes a lot of time. So I've been in for a little bit over 6 years now.
Dude, wow.
So this is my seventh encampment, my sixth of staff. So I have a lot of experience under my belt, but it took a long time to build that leadership. And I can tell you right now, 2 years ago, I wasn't ready for it. There's no way that I could have done cadet commander and been confident in what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
probably could have, made it work, but I wouldn't have been confident in what I was doing. So work on those leadership skills and don't be like, I have to have it next year or I have to have it in 2 years. Take your time. It's okay because it's not everybody will be there next year, and your time will come. I can promise you that. But participate kind of actively, obviously in your squadron activities, as the cadet oath says. But strive to be a role model for your peers for sure. That kind of goes back to your leadership skills, your leadership and followership type thing. And building good communication skills is another big one, and being approachable. So you have to be open enough with your staff and with fellow cadets and senior members that you can communicate effectively with them. And that's over, text, over Discord, over email, over phone, even in person. There's all sorts of different communication skills. So I might not be quite as good at emails as some other cadets are, but I am pretty good at, over the phone. So we each have our kind of, place, but you need to connect and find a good mentor and work on those leadership skills and those communication skills for sure.
Right. So actually, speaking of communication skills, um, so this year, I mean, not public affairs, but all the cadre for this year have been using Discord to communicate. Was that your doing?
No, that was not my doing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was actually brought upon by the senior members.
Wow.
So they searched far and wide for a platform that everyone could collaborate on easily and that had all the features that we needed. And they narrowed it down to Discord was the best solution out there that was especially free. Because there's commercial solutions, but those are so expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I, I wish that'd be awesome if that was my idea, but no, I'm not, I can't take credit for that one.
Also, were you in charge of like, because like I think this is like something that she would do. Uh, so you have like phase one.
Hmm.
which is like you, right? The cadet commander.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Phase one is kind of exec staff.
So, you as a cadet commander, were you in charge of like picking out who you wanted as like phase two command? Like, wait, who's phase two?
So phase two would be like the squadron commanders and the support staff OICs, so officer in command.
Okay, so were you in charge of picking out who you wanted as um phase two applicants?
So I personally was not because I was actually not on the team at that time. There was a cadet commander previously before me that was on board, and something came up and she wasn't able to attend anymore. So I've actually
Oh,
stepped in as cadet commander. But that was actually the majority of the selection process for phase two, and even I'm sure we'll talk about phase three in a second, but phase two was actually mostly selected by the deputies. So the deputy of operations, who's over all of line staff and all the basic cadets, and then the deputy of support. So the deputy of support selected all of her OICs,
okay.
her officers in command. So that's actually mostly done by them. Their selections that they make, their picks, go up to the cadet commander up the chain, and then from there, the cadet commander can talk with them and kind of go over why did you choose this person instead of this one. Their interviews seem better or something like that. But there's always different reasons. And then from there, the cadet commander sends it up to the senior members for final approval.
So it's like a big game of like pick me basketball?
Uh, Kinda, but not quite. There's always, depending on the logistics, we might want you to be really good at, say, operational and um, kind of strategic planning potentially of, okay, at this time I need to have these items at this location. Okay, that means when do I need to have them in a van ready to transport? Or how many people do I need to send to complete this task? So you need to be really good at kind of moving the puzzle pieces around the or not necessarily puzzle pieces, but the chess pieces around to make sure it all works. But at the same time, your squadron commander might be you might want somebody that's a little bit more outgoing
Hmm.
and has a lot of experience as a flight sergeant or a flight commander or something like that, where they are really good at teaching and a very good mentor to cadets. So you kind of have different aspects that you're looking for each position. So it's not exactly pick me, as in I just want the best people overall. It's I want the best person for the job.
Hmm. That's real, you know.
It
Um,
is.
and I'd say, oh yeah, definitely, I'd agree, but I'm like, uh, yeah, no, I don't have as much cadet commander skills as you do, you know.
Like I said,
And
it takes time. It takes time.
yeah, speaking of like all the time, based on like what you've said, it sounds like, cadet commanders need like a lot of like discipline and
Hmm.
responsibility and patience. So what do you do as, Cadet Major Cody to ensure that you like maintain a certain level of discipline? Like what do you do like daily? What like routines do you like follow?
So I kind of five main things I kind of go over on a daily, or kind of some of them are more weekly based, but my biggest one is I wake up at usually around 5 o'clock. Sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later, but around that 5 o'clock mark. And I get out there and I typically go run. If I don't run, I probably will do like some sort of workout at home or something.
Oh,
But
that's
otherwise, I go and who knows, I might go run a few miles, like 6, 7 miles. But then after that, like it's time management. So I use a planner on my phone and on all my devices that keeps me on track for the day. And there's obviously different tasks for the day that I need to complete that I set for myself the day previously, or sometimes I'll add them to it as the day goes on. But time management is a big one. And then kind of goal setting as well. So what do I need to be doing today, and what do I need to be doing tomorrow? Like to get to my goal by the end of the week, or like I have this big task that I need to have done by the end of the month for, encampment, some sort of big planning task, but it takes multiple pieces to pull together from different people. Okay, so that I need to start coordinating and everything. So I do a lot of goal setting that way, and then also continuous learning is a big one. So might sound crazy, but I read civil airpatrol regs and pamphlets all the
oh, I
time
can never. I could
because
never.
over 6 years, you forget a lot. I've forgotten so much. So I have to go and brush up on my, drill knowledge to make sure I'm ready for formations out in Canada because you don't really do that style of formation at your home squadron that often.
True.
So you kind of have to brush up on it, and you have to brush up on, some of the leadership stuff and so, the hazing regulations just to make sure that you are really being proactive on that because you might not run into the same situations at your home squadron that you will run into at encampment. So you want to really make sure you're up to date because, new stuff comes out all the time. So I'm always learning. And then reflection is a big one. So this one's not at the end of every day, but I try to at least and kind of look back on the day of, okay, what have I accomplished? What did I not accomplish? How can I do better tomorrow? And things like that. Was it, okay, maybe I, scrolled Instagram a little too long today. So, some procrastination, like maybe I wasn't so great today, but
Yeah.
that's okay. We're all human. So that reflection is a big one of, okay, I need to focus on my work tomorrow a little bit more. Maybe I need to turn my phone off or I need to, go to a different room in the house or, go somewhere. So that way I'm not not near that distraction sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's a big one is just reflection on what did I do today? What can I do better tomorrow? And what can I do better, at encampment? Because, we're coming up on that in just a few days. So I'm doing a lot of reflecting of, okay, like this is my experience in the past, 6 years, but things have changed and we're doing things a little bit differently this year. So how can I do better this time than I did last time?
I really agree with that. Um, you know, and like the thing that like I always struggle with is like, dude, I don't think I could be like a cadet commander because like, I have too many blah, blah, blah issues and I don't have enough discipline. And that is true. But I think
Hmm.
reflection is such a good trait to have, especially like being able to like listen to yourself, like when you're reflecting and actually like make changes, because that's the way that you improve. Improvement is so much better than just being perfect at the get-go, you know?
Absolutely. And that reflection kind of goes back to kind of self-discipline and stuff of you're reflecting on yourself of, okay, what did I not do? Oh, I'm holding myself accountable.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that discipline part of it. I'm gonna, set it tomorrow. I'm not gonna look at, social media at all, or I'm not gonna, do this certain thing tomorrow. I'm gonna, you know, buckle down and do what I need to do. And sometimes that's what it takes. But it, self-discipline is a learned thing. It's not necessarily something that you're born with.
Mm.
It obviously because some people are better at it naturally than others, but that's a little bit of it. For the most part, you have to learn it. You have to teach yourself, and sometimes that comes with a lot of mentorship from your mentors at different activities.
Okay. But yeah, that I can definitely agree with that.
So you were saying like you didn't really, you don't think you could do it because you don't have like enough discipline or self-discipline. But honestly, I believe you could. It just takes a little bit of practice,
Uh,
and it just takes a little bit of effort. So you can do it. A lot
Thank
of
you.
people don't think they can do it. Obviously, like I said, a few years ago, I don't think I could have done it because I wasn't at that level yet.
Honestly, that's so inspiring. Like, and like, see, this is what I was going back to. I was like, it's like the kind of like the cadet commander stuff to inspire, and look what you're doing,
Hmm.
man. See,
Yeah,
I
but
think you're gonna do a
mhm,
great job. You know,
yeah,
you've
absolutely.
already done
I
so.
really hope so.
So
I really hope so. So
I think you've done fine so far. You know.
well, we got a whole week ahead of us this coming week, so
Yep.
y'all can be the judge of it. But kind of another thing I found is just have a little bit of fun. So like I said, I enjoy running. I get out in the morning, I enjoy running. But another thing is like I like to design stuff. So right now I'm working on a liquid fuel rocket engine. So
Oh, okay.
I
All right, Mr. NASA.
so
I see.
so you just have to find that little niche, and sometimes you have to go and get your mind off stuff, but and just go enjoy yourself. But you just you have to sometimes buckle down, and that's that self discipline, that reflection.
But yeah, so speaking of fun, just gonna have to running short on time here, but
Ah, okay.
um last year, towards the end
Hmm.
of encampment, we had a
Yeah.
water balloon fight.
Okay.
And were you there for that?
I was not. The last encampment I attended was a 2022 summer encampment at Mississippi. That was the last Mississippi one I attended.
Okay. Well, they had
So I wasn't there last year.
a water balloon fight, basically.
Hmm.
And it basically turned into a water balloon war. And
Okay.
the cadet commander ended up getting a tub of water dumped on him over his head. So
Oh, okay.
do you plan on you plan on avoiding that water, or do you plan on taking it? You know,
Oh, not sure on that one.
you're not
I,
sure on
I,
that one?
obviously, I want to avoid it, but I think it's inevitable that I'll get it. So,
Yeah, because you've done a
it'll be a
really
matter of time. I'll turn my back to talk to somebody or something, and next thing I know, I'm covered in
so,
water. So,
yeah, but with the people that you've been working with, if they're persistent enough
mhm.
to do all their tasks and stuff, I think they're persistent enough to splash you with water,
Yeah, they'll find a way to do it. I can promise you that. I have no doubt in my deputies. They will find a way to get. But it's all in that fun, that relationship that you build with everyone.
Yes, sir. But thank you so much for having this interview today. Everybody, that is Cadet Major Kody Brumley. I had to make sure not to get your last name messed up. Oh, I didn't want to feel the wrath. I didn't want to feel the wrath.
It would have been all good. So, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. And I look forward to seeing all of you cadets here at encampment. This is going to be an amazing encampment, and y'all are going to walk away from this like this is, the best thing since sliced bread. Like it's going to be awesome. So,
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
see y'all in a few days.
Yep, see you in a few days.